So, a very warm welcome to all of you out there. Greetings of the day. I hope and I pray that every one of you is doing great. Uh, my first of all, my prayers, my blessings that whichever paper you have attempted in the last attempt, may you all succeed with the flying colors. Very, very best wishes for that. Now it's time for the most important, one of the most technical, and one of the most challenging paper of ACCA, which is Advanced Audit and Assurance. Obviously, the students watching this video, watching this orientation session, might be planning for this paper for the upcoming December attempt. Okay, so what this session will cover, we'll shortly be moving on to the agenda. But before proceeding, we should be very clear about one thing. Advanced audit and assurance. This is the qualification decider for most of these students. This is for most of these students, this is the last or one of the last papers which they are attempting. Specifically for this paper, I would ask the students, do not waste any time. Start studying this paper right away because obviously there's a lot of content to cover. And in fact, the challenging part in this paper is the practice. This paper requires a lot of practice. So obviously, when the students start preparing for this paper, they would start practicing for this paper, which obviously takes a lot of time. Many of these students, they decide to opt for this paper after the result when not much time is left. So whoever is willing to opt for this paper, I would recommend start studying this right away. Okay. Uh, okay, let's start the proceedings of this session. Okay, first of all, a brief introduction about myself. Uh, my name is Munir Shafi, and I'm the facilitator for this subject. For this subject, I teach AAA, I teach SBR, and I have been teaching for more than 9 years now. I myself am a practicing auditor. And my firm is known by the name of HM Chartered Accountants. I'm a fellow member of ACCA, senior member of ACCA. I'm a fellow and practicing member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. I'm also a qualified person responsible for training for ICAW trainees. I am currently and I have been member of various technical and professional committees of ICAP and ACCA Pakistan. As far as my past experience have been concerned, I have been associated with KPMG in past, and then I served more than 5 years in the industry. Now I'm running my own firm, own chartered accountancy practice, along with enlightening students in my respective areas of expertise. As far as my contact information is concerned, you can reach me out on this contact number and on this email ID appearing on your screens. I hope this introduction is sufficient for me. And now let's move on to the session agenda. What about this session? Why we're having this session? Obviously, for such an important paper, for such a key paper, tone should be set right at the beginning. We should know what this paper is. We should know what are the contents, how we should move on, what should be the planner, how we should be, how our teaching methodology will work, and how are you going to cover the available resources. So in this session, we'll be discussing about AAA, its importance on all professional skill papers. We'll be having a look at okay, I hope you can see my screens, isn't it? Can you see the presentation mode? Can you please confirm me? Can you see the presentation mode? I would appreciate if the students can confirm me. Can they see the presentation mode and can they see my video? Is my audio clear? Dear students, can you please once again confirm me? Am I clearly visible, audible, and my presentation mode is visible to you? Great. So we'll be having overview of the syllabus. We'll be discussing about the paper pattern, the key areas. We'll be discussing why the passing ratio of this subject is very poor. We'll be talking a bit about professional skill marks, and obviously the details will follow in the sessions to come. We'll talk about the reasons of failure, very important, why students fail in this subject. We will talk about exam techniques, what role exam techniques play, specifically in AAA. We'll see sample exam techniques as well. We'll discuss about our teaching methodology, how our sessions will progress, how we'll be working, how we'll be facilitating you. And last but not the least, I'll also be sharing the session planner. Okay. So even before moving on to the syllabus overview, I'll take a few minutes about AAA and its importance among all professional skill papers. What is this paper? Advanced Audit and Assurance. And if you talk about Advanced Audit and Assurance, this paper is, I always say that this paper is the core paper of ACCA, the bread and butter paper of ACCA, the bread and butter paper. Why? Because ACCA is audit regulator. ACCA is audit supervisory body. So this ACCA is your prime audit certification, audit qualification. Are you getting this? You might be seeing ACCA chartered certified accountants in finance, in treasuries, in tax departments. The core area is audit because ACCA is an audit supervisory body. So first of all, be very clear that AAA will not going to be an easy paper because ACCA will be testing your metal out of this. Because ACCA is an audit supervisory body. And this is the most advanced paper of audit in your ACCA certification. So obviously this paper is not going to be easy by any means. So first of all, prepare yourself mentally that yes, this is one of the challenging papers. And yes, you are professional enough to handle this paper. And wherever there is some lacking, we are here to facilitate you. We'll be guiding you, we'll be facilitating you at every step. Getting this? It's important. Obviously, those students who might be willing to pursue their audit careers, practice audits, this paper is the cherry on top. Okay. This paper contains the blend of strategic business reporting knowledge, accounting standards knowledge, auditing standards knowledge, and the finest drafting skills which you might have possessed through SBL or similar papers. So when you combine all these three elements, accounting knowledge, auditing knowledge, and the finest drafting skills, AAA comes into existence. Are you getting this? Very important. Let's have an overview of the syllabus now. Regulatory environment. So these are the learning objectives of the syllabus. So I'll be very quickly going through these learning objectives. Obviously, we'll be discussing in depth, in detail about these learning objectives. We'll be practicing their respective questions. So this is just a heads up. Getting? So first of all, we are talking about regulatory environment. Very important because obviously auditor is auditing a company, is auditing the financial statements of the company. And the company is governed by lots of regulations surrounding the company. Are you getting this? So we'll be talking about those regulations because it's very important for the auditor to understand those laws and regulations because obviously the audit implications, the testing implications will be concerned about those laws, the non-compliances of those laws, the financial impact of those non-compliances. Are you getting this? So we'll see which frameworks are applicable. We'll see what is money laundering, because obviously this is the matter which is most concerning globally. Criminal proceeds, black money, utilization of black money in businesses, interjurisdictional movement of illegal funds. This is very, very important nowadays. Lots of laws and regulations are targeting this money laundering activity to tap this money laundering activity. Okay. So we'll be having a look. What is money laundering? What is black money? What is illegal money? How the perpetrators, how the accused try to launder it, try to clean it, and how being auditors, we can spot it. Are you getting this? Then the laws and regulations which are applicable on the company. For example, a pharmaceutical company, drug regulatory acts, exchange commission, if it's a company, exchange commission laws, taxation laws, chemical associations, regulations. So lots of laws and regulations are applicable on a pharmaceutical company, the health, the product licenses. So obviously they need to comply with all those laws and regulations. And if they don't, there could be penal implications. There could be going concern issues. Their license could be revoked. So here in this area, we'll be looking at what are the laws and regulations applicable on the company, which laws auditors should be entrusted more in understanding and checking the compliances, and why. An interesting discussion. Not very technical, straightforward. And this area is not very important from exam perspective, but obviously we being professional students should be preparing for the entire syllabus. Getting this? Then professional and ethical considerations, one of the most important area of your syllabus. Frequently examined, almost in fact, it's a compulsory feature of your paper. You will see the requirements of professional and ethical considerations in any of the questions. Code of ethics implications, code of ethics for charge accountants, for professional accountants. You have already earlier studied in your audit and assurance paper, and here you'll be looking at it in further detail. More of it will be a recap from your earlier studies, and the rest will be cherry on top. The advanced concepts, the advanced applications. There will be complex scenarios where you will be required to apply these ethical considerations. Very important. Fraud and error. You already studied this in your audit and assurance paper. Here again, we'll be having a recap and we'll see how the examiner approaches and targets this area. Fraud, we know what is fraud. Fraud is an intentional misstatement. Error is unintentional. But there are lots of other implications behind these terminologies, audit implications, which obviously we'll be going to discuss, we'll be discussing when we'll be targeting ISO 240. Then comes the professional liability discussion. Very important. We are service providers, we are chartered accountants. We are giving our opinion on the set of financial statements. And what if our opinion goes wrong? What if the user of the financial statements incur any loss on account of our wrong opinion? Can we be liable to that party? Probably yes, if we are found negligent in our work. So what is negligence? How can we be liable? How can we restrict the liability? Because obviously, if we are auditing a company and if we are issuing the opinion, it's a multi-million-dollar company, lots and lots of users are relying on those financials. So should we be liable to everyone? Should we be primarily responsible for their loss? Question mark. We'll see when we'll discuss this. Then another very important discussion, quality and practice management. Very important. We are service providers. We provide audit services, we provide other services. For example, we provide taxation services. We usually provide other consultancy, for example, due diligence, performing due diligence assignment. Other assignments will be, uh, we'll be having the discussion about other assignments very shortly. But we provide lots of other services, due diligence services, forensics investigation, social and what is our deliverable? Our service, our assurance, our opinion, our service. And maintaining quality in providing service is the most challenging thing. It's not a tangible product. It's not a piece, an inventory where we can build in quality checks. But can we build quality checks and services? Yes. It's difficult, but yes, we can. So this standard focuses on how a firm can maintain quality in providing services, in providing audit services primarily. How can we improve our audit services? How can we improve the quality of our opinion? How can we improve the quality of our work done? Getting? And our practice management aspects as well. How can we advertise our work? How can we secure our work? Professional appointments. What are the professional issues in appointments? Can we accept any audit? Can we accept any assignment? Or should we consider few checks before accepting any assignment? Very important. Professional appointments comes up very frequently. One of the very favorite area of the examiner. Core area of the paper, planning and conduct of the audit. Very, very important. Why? Because audit, advanced audit and assurance. So this is the primary area. This is actual conducting the audit. How to plan in the audit. How can we assess the risk? What is risk assessment? Although we already have an idea from our previous paper of audit and assurance, but here again, we'll be discussing everything in detail. How can we plan the audit? There are three broad phases. The planning phase, performing audit procedures, completion, and reporting. So planning and risk assessment, how we test the transactions, how we gather the evidences, how the procedures are performed, how can we use the work of others, work of internal audit, work of expert, work of service organization, how can we use their works? Can we use it? Yes, there are standards. So this is relatively a newer area for you, using the work of others in group audits. But a very important area. Group audits, very, very important. Because question number one, which is a 50-marker question, usually contain a group entity having audit implications. So you should be good at the knowledge, the requirements relating to the group audits as well. And not only knowledge, obviously, practical implications as well. Then comes completion, review, and reporting. Again, an area which is tested in every attempt. Completion, review, and reporting. What are the areas involved? Subsequent events. Year has ended, and a subsequent event has occurred. Does it require adjustment? Does it require disclosure only? We'll have to see. Going concern implication. Entity is no more a viable venture. What to do, how to do, what could be the opinion implications. Completion and final review. How can we review the information in the final stages? We'll see that we have analytical procedures, the planning phase, audit testing phase, and completion phase. We'll see. Audit report. How can we communicate the audit implications? How can the opinion be modified? What are the modifications? What are the additional paras and how those additional paras could be fit in your audit report? Reports to those charged with governance. And obviously, we are not only reporting things in the audit report. That's probably the worst stage. But there could be matters concerning the entity which might not be the reporting matters to the shareholders, but those could be the reporting matters to those charged with governance, the directors, non-executive directors, the control weaknesses, the problems encountered during the audit. So, how to report those to those charged with governance? We'll have a look at those. So, this is a completely new area for you. You haven't studied anything majorly in your earlier studies relating to this area of other assignments. This is a newer area. And again, this is a regular feature in your exams. What this area focuses, other assignments. This area simply tells you that you being auditor will not only provide audit services. There are other ventures as well, which might be more lucrative, which might be more earning oriented. So you might be inclined to do these areas. And practically speaking, truly speaking, that yes, the other services, the other assignments fetch more money for a firm. So obviously the firm will be very much interested in carrying out those assignments. So what are the requirements of carrying out those assignments? What are those services? Specifically, the specific assignments like due diligence. Company A is willing to acquire company B, and obviously it's not that easy decision. So company A has approached you, dear Mr. Auditor, dear Mr. Munir, can your firm assist us in making this decision whether to acquire this company or not? Can you please look at their numbers, their operations, the legal framework, and other matters, the HR matters? And can you please give us an opinion? Should we acquire this company or not? Review of interim financial information. The company is presenting their financials. They may ask the auditor to review their interim financial information, the half-year information, prospective financial information. For example, a company is willing to have a loan from the bank. The bank has asked, okay, give us your future projections. How much cash can you generate? How much profits will be available in the future? So the prospective financial information, now the entity will be making a financial statements, which is a prospective financial information. And the bank can say, we don't rely on your projections because those could be exaggerated because you need a loan. So you can tempt these figures. You can manipulate these figures. We need an assurance opinion. We need an opinion from the consultant, from the auditors. So we might be required to give our opinion on the prospective financial information as well. Forensics, the frauds and fraud investigations. A fraud has been conducted by the employees. Company has approached you, dear Mr. Auditor, dear Mr. Munir, can you please help us out in assessing this fraud, quantifying it, identifying the root cause, what went wrong, how went wrong, things like that. Audit of performance information in public sector. In public sector organizations, there are lots of performance criteria, KPIs, how to audit those, how to audit social, environmental, and sustainability information. Company can approach you and say, carbon emission, social efforts. Can you please give an opinion of this? Not an easy task. Okay, what could be the procedures? How can we check it? And reporting on other assignments. What could be the nature of reports? Current issues and developments. There are lots of discussions going on changing standards, evolving new things. So usually examiner also gives a technical article just before the exams. Any current issue which is currently in process by IASB, exposure draft, any new potential legislation in the auditing standard. So those the current issues and developments may be examined in your paper. Professional skills, very, very important professional skills. Now, what are these skills? Very important discussion. Earlier, these were not there. When I say earlier, that means before September 2022, these were not there. These were introduced from September 22. That means 5 attempts have passed. Earlier, these skills were not separately marked or tested. But now the professional skill marks are a separate feature. One of those. Dear students, am I clearly audible and visible? And can you please tell me whatever I said, I hope reached to you before the disconnection? Can you hear me and see me clearly? Please confirm me. I hope you don't mind uh, that I'm eating cookies. Unfortunately, I cannot offer you online. Okay, professional skills. So I was saying that this is not something separate. This is not something separable. This is part and parcel what you are studying, part and parcel what you have been taught, part and parcel of your practice exam technique, because you will be applying these skills in every question, your communications, your evaluations, your explanations, your critical thinking, identifying fishy information, suspicious information, your business acumen, and we'll be discussing in detail about these skills. Okay. The good thing is that examiner is simply awarding you 20 marks for these skills separately. This is not a separate topic, but you are marked separately. How good this is. This means that these 20 marks, you will get these 20 marks for doing nothing extra. It simply means that if you are drafting for 80 technical marks, as per the guidance provided by the tutor, as per the exam technique, as per the given guidelines, then these 20 marks will automatically flow in your kitty. These 20 pickings will automatically be done with those 80 marks technical content. You don't have to do anything separately, anything additionally. Are you getting this? Employability and technology skills. What does that mean? That simply means the use of CV portal, practice exam, practice platform, how to utilize the tools available there, the calculator, the scratch pad, response options, Excel sheets, highlighting, everything. So again, this is not something to study, something to practice. Okay. This is the exam format in front of you. other could be. So one question will be from completion review and reporting, and the other will be usually from other assignments. Not a hard and fast rule, examiner can give you anything. But this is the usual pattern. So format is very simple. What are these technique-based areas? What do I mean by these technique-based areas? Very simple. These are the magical tools. I always say that these are the magical tools. This is the trick which students miss. This is the main trick which the students usually tend to miss. This is the magical tool to unlock these questions, to solve these questions. When you solve these questions based on the techniques, which I tell you for every area, which area? For all of these areas which I have mentioned, because these are the technique oriented areas. These are usually drafted as per a specific technique. And when you learn that technique, when I'll teach you that technique, and when you attempt the answer by utilizing these techniques, so what will be the benefit? Benefit number one, these are the magical tools. These will help you out in gathering the maximum marks. Benefit number two, if you use these techniques, your professional marks will automatically start flowing in your kitty. Are you getting this? So I'm just taking a 1 minute silence break, a 1 minute silence break because it's called for prayers time, Azan time here in Pakistan. So I hope you won't mind having a 1 minute silence break. So these are the magical tools to unlock your answer. Very important. And I'll demonstrate, I'll show you how. Okay, before moving on to this past exam trends and analysis, and before moving on to the reasons of failure, let me show you some exam techniques. Let me show you the very famous technique of audit risk. See, this is the exam technique of risk of material misstatement. Very famous because you've already studied in your audit and assurance paper as well. This is a six-step technique. Six-step technique. And if you follow this six-step technique, you are not likely to lose any marks while drafting your risks. If the numbers are given, calculate materiality to help in assessing whether the risk is significant. Identify which financial statement area is under the risk and write it down. Mention the risk type, inherent control detection. What is the type of misstatement? Wrong classification, wrong valuation, wrong estimate, wrong recognition. Which accounting treatment is applicable here? State it, write it down. Why you feel there's a risk, or why you feel that inappropriate accounting treatment is applied. Which information gives you this information? Which information in the question gives you this indication? Apply the requirement on that. So basically, you are applying the requirements on the scenario. Applying the non-compliance of accounting standard on the given information. You're using analytical procedures to identify the relevant trends. Then, very important, impact. Risk of overstatement, understatement, underdisclosure. Which area is understated, which is overstated, which is underdisclosure. Which analytical procedures to be performed. So this is the six-step technique. When you apply these six steps, you get the mark for every step. And you don't lose out on any important marks. Getting this? If you follow this technique, all the easy pickings are available for you in your answers. Simple as easy as that. Are you getting this? So these are the techniques for every area. These techniques are for every area. And we'll practice as per these techniques. Are you getting this? And when we'll apply these techniques, we'll practice as per these techniques. There are no chances of losing marks. Getting this? Dear students, lots of apologies. There has been some issue in connectivity. Well, so in front of your screens is the trend. This is how the questions are examined in the past papers. December 22, September, March, December 21. And as I shown you this pattern, question 1, question 2, question 3. Similarly, it is examined in your exams. See, business risk, question number 1, planning stage, risk assessment, business risk, risk of material misstatement, ethical and professional considerations, procedures and evidence. Reporting, question number 2, reporting, procedures and evidence, ethical considerations. Question 3, procedures of other assignments, ethics, acceptance considerations. Now see, business risk, audit risk, work of others, audit procedures, matters in prospective financial information, non-audit assignments, PFI procedures, matters to be considered, audit reporting, completion phase. Again, business risk, audit procedures, quality management matters, audit evidence, audit report implications. This is what I've told you. As far as the paper pattern is concerned, it's very predictable. If it is very predictable, then what makes the students fail this exam? Let's look at few reasons of the failure. Selective studies, poor accounting knowledge, not following the paper technique. As I told you, these are the magical tools. Lack of practice. They don't practice. Students don't practice. Poor answer planning, poor writing skills. They're unable to adopt the mindset as per the given case. So, practice matters the most. Poor answer planning. I'll teach you how to draft, how to plan your answers, how to draft your answers. Planning is very important. You don't have to rush to write the exam, to write the answers. Getting? Failing to understand the requirement, not working as per marking schemes, typing speed very poor, time management not up to the mark, ignoring technical articles. So we'll try to work on all these reasons of failure so that this attempt is your sure success. We've already seen the exam techniques. And what I want you to see now is our teaching methodology, how we teach you. I usually give 2 live classes, but this time, to save your time, we'll be having 1 live class. And before that live class, you will be required to cover the content on the portal, the conceptual videos, the concise, to the point conceptual videos. You will cover those, and then we'll be having 1 live class to practice everything out. Getting? Every week we'll be having a practice session, a detailed practice session. You will be having access to the recorded sessions. E-notes, WhatsApp support group, latest study support material, exam focused webinars, tutor assistant support, assignments. I'll myself check the mocks. Very important. Through mocks, students get to know their mistakes. Very, very important. And we'll also be having a live practice marathon. Getting this? One more thing which I want you to see is a very important aspect is Education Hub, which has now been made available for students. So we'll also be covering this Education Hub content time and again, because obviously this is now the primary source of study material for the students. To practice question content, we'll keep on referring this Education Hub content. Very important. CB practice platform, we'll be practicing on the practice platform, obviously. Are you getting this? Another very important thing, session planner. And let me open the session planner for you. I'll also be sharing this planner with all of you. So today, 16th of September, we're having the live orientation session. Then 21st of September, we'll be having our first practice session. During this period, 16th to 21, you will be covering the conceptual videos, exam technique videos, which are available on the portal. You will be having access to the portal, and you will be having complimentary free access to your result. Are you getting this? So you can enjoy complimentary access to your result, get the access to the portal, subscribe to the Scribers portal, subscribe to the portal, and you will get the access. Are you getting this? Before first practice session, do watch these videos. Then 28th, then every Thursday, we'll be having our live sessions. Okay. Every live session will be of 2.5 hours. And I have written the time as well. And I'll keep on guiding you relating to the coverage. I hope things are pretty clear, crystal clear. Whatever will be the issue, any problem, any confusion, you can always contact me. Are you getting this? I'm always available for your help and support. A tutor assistant will also be available. My contact information is given in this slide. Do note this for your reference. And don't worry about this subject. Just keep practicing. Keep on track as per the schedule, and we'll do the rest. And let me highlight one more thing, that we'll be having a 3 days AAA live revision marathon. Apart from all these practice sessions, apart from all the material on the portal, videos on the portal, you will have the access. You will be guided through a 3-day live revision and practice marathon session. Then we'll be having a final mock result and debrief as well. So we'll try to facilitate you from all ends, 360-degree facilitation, provided that you give your best, you give your 100%. There is no reason that you can't pass this paper. Dear students, thank you. So dear students, thank you so very much for attending this session. My prayers are with you. My best wishes are with you. May you all succeed with the flying colors. And it will be a pleasure to facilitate you, to support you throughout this journey. Thank you so very much. Your tutor signing off. Take care a lot. And keep studying. Keep practicing AAA. Your tutor is here to help you out. Thank you. Bye-bye.